Big news! Wayfair's President's Day clearance is on now, and you can score tons of huge deals. Like Wayfair's best deals since Black Friday. Right now through February 16th, you can score up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Like up to 50% off mattresses with fast and easy shipping straight to your door. Plus amazing flash deals on President's Day. Shop Wayfair's President's Day clearance now through February 16th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, the podcast aimed to inspire you to find your voice and become the best, truest, and most authentic version of yourself. Spiritually intimate, soul-to-soul conversations, life-changing insights, and spiritual teaching and healing. Real, raw, unfiltered. Join your host, Tisha Michelle.
Welcome and welcome back to another episode of Seeing with Your Soul with me, Tisha Michelle, your host. Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are feeling amazing. And if you're not feeling amazing, that's okay too. Honor those feelings, feel them, lean into them, and then be able to release some of those things. All right. So in this present moment, I'm definitely grateful for the past couple of days that I got to spend with some loved ones. And after you guys express your gratitude, I will go into these past couple of days. So unless you're driving, don't be doing this. Go ahead and close your eyes. And if this is your first time here, Seeing with Your Soul, welcome again. But I always like to start off the show by expressing some gratitude. So I express what I'm grateful for and then sometimes tell you why I'm grateful. And then I want you guys to do the same thing too, because I know how powerful it is to remind yourself of the blessings and the miracles that are already in your life. Even if you feel like, you're in a dark place or you feel like you don't have so much, or if you're going through that phase or that time where you're looking and comparing yourself to other people, when we start to express the gratitude, it's not to say that you're not grateful for things, right? It's just that when you express this gratitude out loud or in your head or you're writing it down, you're just reminding yourself of the blessings and the things that you do have, because it's very, very easy to get caught up in the things that we don't have, that you just dismiss the things that you do have in your life. So with that being said, again, unless you're driving, go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to take a nice deep breath, and you're just going to breathe in through your nose and just let it out through your mouth. Go ahead and just release the weight of the world, release any unnecessary baggage, burdens, whatever, release it. All right, we're going to take another nice deep breath, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. All right, one more, another nice deep breath, breathing in through your nose and just release out through your mouth. Yes, yes, and yes. What you grateful for? Express that gratitude. Put that high vibe and energy out. And you know what? In the beginning, when I said that, if you're not, feeling amazing and maybe you're in a dark space or, whatever that feeling may be, I can tell you when you express your gratitude, it shifts your energy. I'm not saying it's the magic fix and you're just going to all of a sudden just be perfectly fine, whatever that perfectly fine definition is for you. But I can promise you it's going to shift your energy. And when you're able to shift your energy, even just a little bit, right, you're letting that light in. And that light can look so different to so many different people, right? But that light is powerful, right? So bring it back to expressing, gratitude. I'm grateful for whatever it is or whoever it is or your experience. It's just super, super important to express that gratitude. All right. So this past weekend, I was in New York. So if you've been listening to the show for a long time, you always, throughout will hear me talk about my best friend, Gloria. And if you go all the way back to the beginning, you'll see how this podcast even really came was just through through the death of Gloria. Really, really just reminded me of my purpose and helped to consciously awaken me to these present moments. So November 8th was her birthday, right? So it's been coined Glow Day. So again, her name's Gloria, and, she'd be called Glow. So we're like, yo, this is, Glow Day, right? And it's her sister, right? Her older sister, Leah. So it's been coined Glow Day. And there's two parts to it, right? So one part is Glow Day. It's us representing her birthday. She'd like to party and do it up, right? And we added to that because our kids are with, her sister, with their dad and with her sister. And she said, let's do a fundraiser for them, right? So we just do a fundraiser, that once a year, Glow Day, and we're going to, party and everybody's going to come together, but also do things to raise funds to go to her 3 babies, go to their college fund, right? Just come together, and do a fundraiser. So this year, and her sister Leah owns the Cove Lounge in New York. It's in Harlem. So if you're ever in New York, you live there or you're passing through, definitely go check out Cove Lounge, right? So what she does is she holds it at her space, and all of the proceeds from if you get alcohol and the food, on that day, all goes there, right? Well, this year she added something different. Well, she never charged before, and this is the 4th year. So she charged a ticket. And even with the ticket, it was $39 because that's the age that Gloria was at when she passed. And it came with 2 complimentary drinks. And then there was some food that was brought out in the beginning if you got there at the time that the doors open. I think it was from 7 to 8 or 8:30 beginning. And then after that, you could order food and you could order drinks, and those proceeds go there. Then we also did a silent auction, so which was super dope. And different people donated things. And we had it really cool. So if you ever done a silent auction, you'd have whatever the thing, if it's a basket, a skincare thing, and then you can just start the bid, and then people will just go and outbid, add another $1 and stuff. But Aaliyah's friend was like, we're not playing that. She's like, we're not doing that this way. This is to raise money for these babies. There's 3 of them, for going towards their college fund. And so whatever the value of the thing was, that's where the bid started. And she's like, it's just what it is. And then we would do it in increments of $5 and stuff. So it was super cool, to do that and just to see the support, for people coming. And then we sold masks because it was a masquerade party. So we also sold different masks. Then there were hats that had #TeamGlow. There were the martini cups, bags. Somebody wanted to get the picture of her with the bag. So we had a bunch of things, and I actually worked that table. So that was super cool. I loved it. It's so awesome when you're doing something, and then when you're doing something for a cause, it's just so much more meaningful. And it was really interesting when people would come up and I'd be like, oh yeah, so you get this, or you want this, or do you want to bid on this? And it was so easy. And if you know me or you've been listening to this, couple episodes, you would have probably heard me talk about one of my biggest lessons coming here is asking for help, is reaching out to people and just asking for something that I need. And I noticed when I was there at the table, working that table, I need you to come about your pockets. What's up? Right? It was so easy. It was so easy. And you could think because, well, it's not for me. I'm doing it for someone else, for the babies, and that could have be a part of it. But it's also when you're just looking at things that are just so much more greater, than you, and you feel so purposeful and you stand behind what it is that you're asking someone to come out of their pocket to purchase this and to do this and to that. And some people just donate it. Right. And shout out to Alicia. So she is a client of mine who turned friend, and she lives in New York now. And I told her, about it. And she came, and this is only my 2nd time in real life, actually meeting with her, in person. She came with her cousin. They bought their tickets. They bought food. They bought drink. And then she came over and gave money and was like, here, I want to just donate this. I just want to be a part of this. And I thought that was just so dope. Right. Wasn't like, oh, I need to get this, and this. She's like, here. And she gave a nice hefty amount, and I was so appreciative of that. And then the second part, to it is Glow Care Inc. So once again, goes for Gloria. It's a nonprofit organization that her sister Leah created, and I am honored and blessed to be a board member. And Glow Care is to support new mothers. Like, the foundation was created to be able to support new mothers, and that goes back to women, especially women of color, and what happens when they're, sick. They're having children. Like, we're just going to call it for what it is. We just don't get the best fucking care. And that's just what it is. Right. So she created this and, in honor and memory, of her sister, of Gloria. So last year we did the registry for Target and created like baskets to send to new moms. So last year was the first year doing it. And we did 14 baskets that were delivered to the Harlem Hospital. Well, this year being the second year, we was like, we leveling up. What's up? And we did 50 baskets, and 25 of them went to new moms at the Harlem Hospital, which I got to be a part of to go and deliver. And then the other 25, I didn't get to be a part of that because it was the Wednesday afterwards and I was going to be back. I was leaving New York, and that's going to go to another hospital, but they couldn't accept them until afterwards, right? This was super cool too and super dope. So this is separate from her babies. This is to help, mothers and to help new moms. And we had a registry at Target where we, it was already set up. Like, Leah had already set up all the things, for 50, we had Pampers and wipes and just a whole bunch of things. But it was so cool because she made sure that she priced the things at any price point for your pockets. So you could do a big thing of Pampers, or you could do something that was like $3, and there was something that was $6. Like, it didn't matter if you did one thing or if you did 50 things. Like, everything was so appreciative to be able to put these together. And then we reached out to each board member, reached out to our own personal people and, sent them the link and was like, if you want to, order something to contribute. And that was a little tough for me. And I'm going to tell you why, right? That was, tough because, like I said, I struggle with asking people for help. And then I look at it like this. This is just me, y'all, running my shit over here. If I reach out to you and I don't ever ask you for nothing, and what I'm asking for is not even, personally benefiting me, right? It's benefiting I'm honoring my best friend, right? While helping someone else's best friend, right? Another new mom that's in there that's somebody's best friend, right? So I was a little nervous about reaching out to people and sending to them because if I wasn't going to follow up with you because that's just not me. Okay, I get it. It's one of the things I'm working on this lifetime. And also, if you don't order anything, I'm going to feel some type of way. So it was a little hard for me to reach out to people. So I'm going front. I was a little selective, in a sense, but, so I was like, whatever. So I reached out to some people and they ordered, super dope. Didn't have to follow up or anything. But then I had a couple people that messaged me like 2 days before and was like, hey, I didn't get to order it in time. What other way can I help? Because I know if I order now, it's not going to make it there in time. And I really appreciated that. And they sent cash. And what she did, she just went to Target and, got stuff that was left off the registry with the people who sent cash. So I was super, super, appreciative of that. And then what I also noticed was that some people were thanking me. They said, thank you for thinking of me and thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. And I was like, wow. I'm asking you to come out your pockets. I don't even know what's going on in your financial world. I'm asking you to buy something to help somebody else. And you're thanking me? Wow. Right. So it brings back to looking at being of service. And there was a podcast episode that I did. Gosh, I need to get better at this. And well, I didn't think I was going to be talking about that portion. But there was a podcast episode that I did, and it was around like acts of service. And this just reminded me of that everyone wants to feel purposeful. Everyone wants to give back. And so many people feel like they're not in a position to give back, or they don't know how to give back and think that it has to be a whole lot of something. And it doesn't, it's just ordering one thing off of that registry. It could have been, like I said, $6 and you ordered that, or donating $20. Like everything, every single dollar and every single item was so beneficial and so important and so fucking dope, right? To be able to get so many people and get people to contribute and put these baskets together and then go and deliver, and knowing that new mom. Now, we didn't get to see them because of COVID, so we didn't get to go in. So we just were able to take it to the hospital, load it all up and watch them take it in. But because of COVID, we was deep out that bitch too anyway. So they definitely wasn't letting that go down. But just thinking about, I'm a mom 4 times. So thinking about as a new mother, and we don't know your situation, right? We don't know your personal situation in the sense, but to receive this basket full of these things, powerful. Think about looking a thing of Pampers and baby wipes. That could be someone that didn't even know what they were going to do, but you could just breathe a little bit easier, right? Knowing that you have these essentials, and we weren't making these baskets up with just shit to just be this is super cute and stuff. It's not. These is essential shit that we need, right? Need as a mom. And it was just so beautiful. It was really so beautiful. So in the beginning, when I said I'm grateful for spending, this past, weekend with loved ones, it's so much deeper. And while we had our moments of sadness, right? Because we're here together, in honor of our loved one that has, passed away. And while, of course, I wish it was under other circumstances while I was in New York, and all, it still felt good to be around everyone and to see everybody that showed up. Right. And showed up for her babies. Right. We all got to experience the ones who are super close with her. And we all got to experience all the years, with Gloria. I met Gloria when I was 15. Right. So this year, now it's going to be 4 years. So I'm 41. Yeah, a long time. So I got to experience a lot of things with her, and that her babies aren't. So for people to show up and to comment, and the people that I'm just, some of my clients and stuff that participated and all, I'm just meeting them. Some of them I hadn't even met in real life. Actually, I had 2 people, I guess they seen when I did share it on social media, that ordered, and they didn't even tell me they ordered. They didn't even say, hey, I seen your thing and I ordered. They just slid and just ordered. The only reason why I knew was because her sister was like, hey, I'm going through the list right now. Is this person yours? This person? I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, I know them. I had no idea that they had ordered anything. And that was even dope too. They didn't have to broadcast it or anything. I just posted it on there and they just went on. I'm like, that's what's up. That's love. Love it. Super, super, super love it. So yeah, going back to me being grateful, it was just cool to just be up there and to be around everyone and to be in the cove and, talking and catching up on things. And I'm telling them, I remember the time when, one time when I went up to New York with her, went up there because Gloria lived in New York, and met her, and we went out and she took me club hopping. And we just hopped from club to hub to club to club to club. And it was just next thing you know, it's 4:00 in the morning. And I'm like, bro, I got to prepare 6 months in advance for this. I'm not built for this. And then I was telling them another story of how we came up there. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't remember what we went up there for, but I drove up there and we were in the cove. We went into the cove. When we went in, it was nighttime. And then when I left out, it was morning time. And then I got my butt in the car and had to drive back to Virginia. I was like, yo, why do I keep doing this to myself? I know I have to fully prepare for this, but it was the best. And just knowing that's how fast time goes by. And then you're kicking it with someone that you love, your bestie. And it's what it is. So just grateful that I got to be, around everyone. And we all got to we came together for Glow Day, and we came together in Glow Care. So it was just super, super dope. And I tell you, align yourself with an organization or start your own organization. There's so many people out here that need help and need assistance. And if you feel like it's been something that's really calling on you that you wanted to do, maybe it was helping the homeless. My big thing, and I do have a nonprofit organization, and I formed it, and it's for teen moms, right? I've always had this thing and this special place in my heart for teen moms, and I'm guessing because I was a teen mom, maybe this is some past life stuff too. It's just something about like teen mothers, right? So, and I'm providing resources for them, mentorship, and then also I'm going to be working on a space where they can come and shop for items that they need for themselves and for their baby, but they use it with like baby bucks, and they earn those baby bucks by taking certain classes, and this shit is all free for them. You're like, oh, I took this class and I completed it. Great. Here, got certified CP, different things that we'll be offering, and then being able to pay them for, and then they get to use those to shop. So that's the second part of that where I'm looking to continue to build. And if you're someone who, wants to, do mentorship and wants to provide like some type of like training, and you think that and know like, yeah, this will be beneficial for, teens, and I want to give back and be into that space, definitely like hit me up, like reach out to me, and we could talk about what that looks like. So I know that I can't do it all on my own. But this is another lesson that I'm learning in this lifetime, that I don't have to do everything by myself, and that there's people out there who want to help. So I'm putting that out there. And then also like, just for you, like I said, if you've been feeling like you want to give back and you want to align yourself to something, it doesn't have to be one of those big causes that we all just see that's out there. There's a lot of nonprofit organizations and people who are really just had their own experience, and they're like, I don't want anybody else to go through this, so I'm going to do my part. So maybe do some research, think about something something that's maybe just been, calling to you, and just go and Google and say nonprofit for, and then put in that saying or that word, and you'll be amazed at what comes up. And then just do your research, and then just get in alignment. Well, you'll see if you're in alignment with them, reach out and see how you can, you can help. I think it's super powerful for all of us to really come together and to help other people, right? So it's always interesting. I'm like, didn't plan to spend that much time, on talking on that, but I just do what it does, right? If I'm talking and it's flowing, it's meant to be, right? But something I wanted to talk to you guys about, before I end this episode. Okay, so a friend of mine, his mom passed away, and he called me the other day, and he said he has this really hard, like he was trying to describe this feeling like in his chest type thing. And he said, so I want to ask you, and he knows about when Gloria passed because we've been friends from then. And he said, when does the pain go away? And I said, it doesn't. And I knew I had to be honest with him, right? Because I can't feed you no bullshit. I can't be like, oh, it's going to go away in a couple of years. You just got to do this. Don't worry. You're going to be good. Yeah, yeah. Nah, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't go away. Right? And he said that when I, meaning me as in Tisha, was grieving and going through the death of my best friend, Gloria, he said he really, really tried to understand it. And he tried to relate it, and he just scanned his life. And he said, I just don't know if I would feel like that over anyone. He said, I just couldn't. He said, until his mom died. And he said, my mom was your Gloria. I was like, wow, and it really took me back because, first of all, I didn't know that he was trying to understand and trying to relate, right? And he was honest. He said he couldn't. And it made me think about one of my old business coach that I had. And this actually was like 2019. And we were in person and we was talking about whatever, I don't know, we was having a conversation. And she said, I've never had a Gloria in my life. That also took me back. I'm like, really? We all don't just have that out here? Wow. So when he said that to me, it took me back to 2019 when she said that. It's like, that's interesting, right? So in episode 119, and I only know that because I just did this one a couple weeks ago, I talked about the soul loving to attach yourself to materialistic things, but also we master that shit when it comes to like a human being. So all of this is like connecting and making me think like, how do you not have, oh my gosh, you don't have a Gloria in your life? Wow. So even though as much as it hurts when you lose a loved one and, that person physically dies and you're like, damn, like we're just so attached and that pain is so terrible. I really just don't think that I could imagine not ever experiencing that type of connection with someone, to be honest. Right? So on Instagram, I posted, because November 8th is our birthday, and I posted like a video I did. And then in the caption, it was something I talked about me and Gloria aligning when I was 15. And that I said that I pray for everyone that before they physically leave this earth, that they have, a Gloria in their life. And I got a lot of people that responded to me in a message, a couple on social media, and they said, oh, I had one and da, 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 da. But then people, I had a mixed things. Some people said that I don't, and then some who told me like who their person was, and as person of persons, right? Where I just thought it was kind of cool. So I wanted to really talk to you guys about that. It's like, who's your person? And I got that from Grey's Anatomy. And when they say like, that's my person, that's my person. And you can have more than one person, and Gloria was my person. Like straight up. She was my person from fucking 15. Here they are, like they're coming from New York and she got all these brothers and it's like, oh shit, okay. And it was like, I'm the only female with the people I'm hanging around with in English Hills and stuff. And then here comes, and there was a couple of other ones, but I have a lot of cousins and stuff. So I'm just like in the mix with them and mainly like guys. And then they come down and, and I'm originally from Brooklyn too. So raised in Virginia and then lived in Harlem for a couple of years as well, like at the age of 17, I think. Yeah. So anyway, so if you're from New York or like, y'all already know just the swag, just that whole thing, about these New York dudes, right? So they just come down and then you're in Richmond. It's like, in Virginia, it's a little bit slower than, I'm saying up in, and no disrespect to my Virginia people. I love Virginia too. But anyway, so she comes and it's her and it's like all these mad brothers and just like this whole thing, energy and stuff. It's like, okay, what's up? And we just like clicked. So back then I wasn't using words like alignment, but when I look back and I reflect, yeah, it was hell of an alignment. And we just connected. We just connected from this. So she's always been like my person. And then it went from that deep friendship to me freaking messing around with one of them New York brothers. End up getting married and having 3 kids. But it didn't change our relationship. That's family now, right? So it was just super, super dope. That was just my person. So on my Insta, on my social media post, I said I could explain, all these wonderful words about, Gloria and about our relationship, which I've done, plenty of times. I say, but for me, the deepest part is the feeling. So when I say like your person, it's like, yo, how does that person make you feel? Right? You go to this person and you could go through any aspect or any area in your life with this person. And it's going to come from a non-judgmental space. The person that's going to check you in a heartbeat and be like, yo, nah, don't do that shit. And let me tell you why not to do that shit. Because you're way better than that. And you deserve more than that. Right? Or that person to say, wait a minute. Why is you right here? Damn well you should be up here. Let's make that shit happen. What's the problem? Or that person that's just going to be quiet and just listen to you because that's what you need. And they know that's what you need right now. Or that person that's going to hype you the fuck up because they know in this present moment, they're so in tune with you. They know what the fuck you need. They'll be like, yo, fuck her. Fuck him. What? Oh, hell no. That person, or that person that when they ask you how you're doing, they really want to fucking know how you're doing. It's not surface level bullshit talk. Like, that's your person. So if they're saying like, hey, how's it going? They don't care if the next 30 minutes you tell them how it's going. They want to know. They want to know. Like, and that's Gloria. That was Gloria. That was my person. I always be like, yo, no new friends. No new friends. I'm good. I got Gloria. I'm good. Something's going on in like New York. Soon as I get up there, the first thing, where's Gloria at? Where you at? I'm already here. I just got into the city. Or if I hear, because now, we're deeper, connected with the kids and stuff. And I hear they're supposed to be, somebody says like, oh, such and such is coming to Virginia. My first thing, is Gloria coming? Cause she ain't going to tell me to the last minute or till she get here. And she's like, where you at? I'm over at Aunt Rosin's house. When you coming? I'm like, wait, I didn't even know you was coming. Like, so it's like, she was my person. Like, even after her passing and stuff, like, I still would like go like, damn, like I need to tell Gloria, I'm like, fuck. Or I'd be like, yo, if Gloria was here, this shit wouldn't be going on right now. This wouldn't be happening, or this will look different. That's like, it's your person. It's your person, like where you can just feel comfortable in any situation, in any conversation. It's something that you look at as like your shadow side. And if you've been listening to me or done work with me, we know like the shadow is the part of ourselves, or the part or parts of ourselves that we want to hide from the world through to fear of like judgment or embarrassed or whatever. But knowing that you can talk to them about whatever that shit is that you don't want nobody to know, that person can know. That person can know. That's your person. So who's your person? Do you have a person or persons? Like, seriously, that's 100% like your person. Right? I remember when my ex-husband, who's the father of, which is her brother, is the father of of my 3 kids. And when he had another kid, mind you, we've been separated, nowhere, no togetherness or anything of that. And the girl was pregnant and I didn't know about it. It was just whatever, she told me. He didn't tell me because he was too scared to tell me. And it's so funny because I'm like, why are you afraid to tell me we're not together? We haven't even been together. Like, what is that? But, that's that once having a conversation, it was a deeper aspect of it with him where he was afraid to say it just because we had been together for so long, and it was like the child, high school sweetheart and all those things and whatever that was. But when she found out, she was like, he got such and such pregnant, right? Like, wait, what? No, she's like, And it wasn't even on a gossipy thing. And mind you, that's her brother. I'm a best friend. There's a lot of situations where I trump that. But she was telling you because she's like, nah, you need to know this. Like, you need to know this. And it's not going to be some out the blue, type thing. But that's like the type of person that she is. And like I said, and it's not on some like gossipy, let me be messy. She's like, nah, you need to know this shit. And as soon as she found out, she picked up the phone to call me like, here you go. But it was just things, like that. And I remember in the beginning when I had when I first started the business, my home care agency back in 2014, she called me for something. We were talking about it, and then she wanted to know how the business was going. And I was like, I tried to just brush it off. And she's like, no, what's the problem? What is the problem? So I'm telling her, and she's like, just give me your login. Give me your login to it, and I will get your whole bookkeeping together. And I'm very private and very uncomfortable with stuff like that. But she's my person. So it doesn't matter. You don't feel that uncomfortableness. You don't feel like people are going to judge you and see how messy this is. And, because I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing. It just landed into my lap, meaning like the universe aligned things. And I had this business that wasn't a little business by definition, the IRS and government and stuff, but it was big. I didn't take no type of class for like bookkeeping, any of that stuff. And I don't want people in my business. I don't want you to see how much money that's coming in or going out. I don't want you to see how messy anything is, but she's my person. And I didn't feel any of that. That's your person. Right? That's your person, where you might feel like people are going to judge you, or you feel uncomfortable because you feel like things got to be all perfect and stuff in your life. But when you're with your person, none of that shit fucking matters, because that's your person. And Gloria is my person. And she still is my person. And I still lean on her in the spiritual realm. I know she makes things happen. And I know it because she lets me know that it's her. And it'll be certain things that'll happen. And then boom, here's this sign. And it's not something that you just, oh, well, that could be. It's like, nah, she lets her presence be known. Like, what's up? I'm still here, damn it. And it's such a beautiful thing to experience having that person, your person or persons. Again, it doesn't have to just be one person, right? Gloria was my person. Point blank, period. Yeah. So I want you to really think about it. Who's your person? And if you're someone like a couple of the people that, message me about it, and you don't feel like you have that person, ask for it. I don't know who you connect to, whether you say God or Jesus or the universe, your higher self, your spirit guides, your ancestors, whatever, it doesn't even matter. Whatever that higher power and that connection that you rock out with, ask them. Say, I want you to align me with my person. I want to feel that. Connect me to my soul tribe. I want to feel that. I want my person. And just trust that it's going to happen, whether it comes from a person you already had a relationship with and your relationship goes to a different level, or you just bump into, so you meet somebody online or meet someone when you're traveling, and then all of a sudden you connect and you feel like you've just known them forever. And it's because you have. Pretty sure y'all been rocking out from past lives and other past lives and connected, and you're still here. I know me and Gloria did. Hands down. Hands down. Hands down, which is why it's so powerful when she died, how it reminded me of my purpose. Now, this is somebody that I'm rocking with in this human world that I'm telling you is my person. And then the death of her pushes me to get back on this path and reminding me of my purpose in fucking life and the gifts and the healing abilities that I have. And yes, I'm a healer, and it's because I healed myself. And each and every one of you, when you go through that process and you're healing yourself in something, you are a healer. So now I am not healing you, but I'm teaching you to heal yourself. So we are connected on a soul level. No, connected on a soul. I remember when one of her younger sister said to me, it's a couple years ago, she said, "What was it?" And I was like, I was going to reply. She said, "Yeah, but that's not the first death that you've experienced." She's like, "So what was it?" And it had me thinking. And I was like, I think it's because it wasn't expected. When my dad died, if you heard that story, he was only in my life, actively for about 2 years before he died. But he had an illness that, at that point, back then it was like, yeah, you're just going to die from it, right? And then my grandmother got sick and she was in the hospital. So we knew doctors had already told us, prepare for that. And while you can't really prepare for it, you still know it's coming. And then when Gloria passed, she went to sleep and she didn't wake up. So that fucked me all up. So that was really my response. But then I always think about it and I'm like, man, nah, because we're so connected at a soul level that arrangement or whatever we made prior to incarnating in this lifetime was some deep shit. It was some real, real deep shit. But again, that's my person. And I really, truly, when I said that, and I said, I pray that everyone, before you physically leave this earth, that you have that experience with your person or your persons. And for those of you that can off the back say, yo, I already know my person, hands down. I love it. I love that for you. And if you truly, really are in a place right now where you're like, I don't have anybody that's my person. I don't have anybody that I have that deep level connection with, the person that I know is not going to judge me and that I can say from my fucking darkest skeleton secrets and the most embarrassing thing, and knowing that I'm not going to be judged and that truly, truly like loves me on a deep level in that sense. I pray that you make that connection. I pray that you step out there and you put yourself out there and you ask, and this higher power that you connect to connect you to your soul tribe. Say, I want my person. I want to feel that deep love. Right? I think that personally, I believe that we all need to experience that, even though the separation from the grieving process of losing that person in a physical sense is so like unbearable and crazy at times. I can't imagine not having that deep connection with her. That's just, I don't even want to, because I can't. So who's your person? It's so important, right? I was watching this, you know how they on Instagram, they be videotaping those like rich people. They be in like all like the dope ass cars and stuff. And they're like, what do you do for a living? And they're like, nothing. Like, or I created this, or real estate. Mainly everybody's like real estate, right? And then this one, he asked the guy, he said, if you had, and I might be botching this, he said, what piece of advice would you, give to another person, blah, blah, blah. And he said, when you find someone that you can trust and that's loyal, stick with them. And I don't remember exactly how he said it, but it made me just really think about that. When you connect with that person or that person, hold them tight. Hold them tight. I used to hear a lot of people, they're like, oh, my best friend. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, how y'all got so many best friends? That's weird. It was just because I couldn't relate to it. And for me, I felt like, yo, Gloria, that's my girl. That's my best friend. That's my sister. That's my person. And I'm good. Right? And it doesn't mean that you don't have space for other people, but whoever your person is or your persons, hold them tight. Matter of fact, when you get off of this podcast, go and tell them that you just love them and you appreciate them for being who they are and being that person to you. Yeah, matter of fact, do that. Do that. All right, guys. I love you all. I'm sending you guys so much love, light, abundance, happiness, clarity. Some hugs even are in there. Your person, you know what I mean? Maybe just you listening to this podcast shifted some energy within you, and now it's really putting it out there so you can attract that deeper, level of relationship in your life. And I so want and love that for you guys. Until next time, bye guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Seeing with Your Soul. If something you heard resonated with you, feel free to rate, review, and share with others. If you are looking to go deeper, you can connect with Tisha Michelle on Instagram at Mindset Slayer or visit www.healingalignedglow.com.